Hey guys, it's Nemo and welcome back to World of Warships. For you guys who are in New South Wales at least, I hope that you're enjoying your long weekend. It's Labor Day today. I definitely enjoy it. I mean, I'll have any long weekend that they give us. So today I'm going to be doing a video for World of Warships because it's the long weekend. So we've got a double header today, and the first one is the clan brawls from Saturday night. Now, the clan brawls are so fun. They're just refreshing. It's 3 versus 3. If you're in a clan and you don't like clan battles, don't worry about clan battles if you don't want to play them, but play the clan brawls because the clan brawls are great. I mean, I think if you're in a clan, I'd be playing clan battles too, but if that's not your cup of tea, clan brawls, short and sweet, nice and easy to play. If you lose, you get pitted up against people who keep losing. If you win, you keep getting people pitted up against people who are winning. So the more you win, the more likely you are to face Hurricane and Typhoon clans. Now these guys here we're playing today, this is Clan B. They are a Hurricane clan on Asia. They're a very good clan, but 3 versus 3 sort of nullifies the skill gap. I was teamed up with Jigs and Addy, so the skill gap is not very bad. You know, these two are some of my alpha players. Jigs runs our competitive scene in our clan. That's what he's in the clan for, pretty much, and he's been rewarded for that with certain ranks and things. And his opinion is valued highly. So our team here is a pretty good team. This one here, a couple of my other fellows who teamed up during the night had some good games against Typhoon clans, and every Australian clan we played, we managed to beat. The other boys, Ice, Goof and DB, managed to beat Oz and Zed, which was great because they it was Bob, and Bob's the clan leader, so that was good for us. But as I said, like, the 3 versus 3s, you don't really take too much out of them. They're just there for fun, and they're great to play because they make you a lot of money and a lot of experience. We pulled in something like 30 million credits over 4 hours of gameplay. So the hydro there, the daring is either very close to the edge, or it is Stalingrad, but I doubt it's Stalingrad. So I'm saying that daring is very close. So I'm just going to move up closer, and there he is. So it's the daring's hydro. And this is one thing that a lot of people do, I notice. Yes, it's good to give me information, but now his hydro is going to be on cooldown by the time our team gets into the channel, and he's not going to have it there if I launch torpedoes or things like that. So you need to be careful about what you do and when and where you use your consumables. And if I now have him proxy spotted, I'm not going to worry about using my consumables at all. I'm just going to keep him proxy spotted. So we had a really good run on Saturday night. Our clan managed to finish 13th overall on the Asian server, which is a great achievement for my players. There were 5 Hurricane clans above us. A Storm clan actually finished on top, which means they were able to play and win the most battles of all the clans. And there was 2 Typhoon clans, I think, above us, and then the rest was Storm. So we did pretty well, and I was impressed. I have to say, any of my players who watched this, I was really proud of what the team achieved on Saturday night. Even though it is just clan brawls, it's still good. It still gets players playing together, and it gets players learning each other's playstyles, even on these little tiny maps, because as you can see, this is 2 brothers. It's been cut down, so you've only really got the 2 brothers to play with. And the idea in 2 brothers is, in clan brawls, is just to get in the middle and go for your life. It's fun. It's great fun. Anyway, so I'm just going to keep this guy proxy spotted. I don't know where the Stalin is, I don't know where the Kremlin is. All I know is that 3 of them have their guns towards me, and they're just waiting for me. But I'm just waiting for Jigs to come down. He's in the Kremlin. The Kremlin has, 105,000 health. It's a ridiculous health pool with an insane armor scheme. and he's just going to come down and tank. So the idea of me being here is to give him warning about the torpedoes. So what I'm going to try and do is bait those torpedoes for him. Now that can be dangerous with the Stalin and the Kremlin around the corner, but what I want to do is bait those torps out. If I die, it's okay, because then the torps are used. Jigs, the idea is here is that Jigs was going to get a shot onto the Daring, and then there's the torps. I get shots onto the Daring. You know, he's gonna miss a couple of the torps on Jigs. He manages to get a couple on. Jigs just tells me to get back, so I just reverse now that he's used his torpedoes. And then what we're going to do is Jigs is going to shoot the Daring and try and ram the Stalin. So there goes the Daring. Now Jigs is on what, half health, under half health, well under half health actually. So the idea to hit the Stalin is to take it out of the battle, and then I should be able just to torp the Kremlin. But the Stalin pulls a sneaky maneuver and manages to avoid the ram. In trying to move a Kremlin in that tight of a gap is crazy. The Stalin here is not playing concealment, and the reason I know he's not playing concealment is that he was 3 kilometers away when he proxy spotted me. So he's playing the... I can't remember what module that is. I'll have to find out. Anyway, so Jigs goes to ram the Kremlin, and I'm going to torpedo the Stalin, and this is going to be over. There goes the Stalin. I hit the dead corpse of the Daring. Jigs is going to ram, and once the ram's off, like this is how you play clan battles. It's nice and easy. So the only reason I had to wait is because I had to wait for Jigs. And then Hattie and I are trying to kill it as quick as we could because it didn't get all the health off. But otherwise it was pretty good. So fun. Clan Brawls are really fun. I'm actually I enjoy that game mode. It's an enjoyable game mode. It's nice and quick. It's done fast, and it can be done quite well and quite strategic. So as you can see here, this is the top 15 clans on Asia at the end of Saturday night. And 13th, not bad. Anyway, let's get into our second video. So this video is a user replay. Dolfire sent me this replay and asked me to have a look at it and see how he goes. Now, throughout this battle, there are times where I'm going to take control of the camera and keep it steady, because he looks around a lot, and you'll see it in this very first part how he's just observing everywhere, and that's great for to know your battlefield and observe the area. My suggestions though would be to either, if you're going to look around as much as Dolfire does, use Control X, which will lock your guns in a certain direction, and then you can hit X to stop them from being locked, so then you've got free fire again. Or as you're looking around, hold the right mouse button down as you're turning the mouse, because that'll hold your guns in the direction that you're aiming, and you'll be able to free look. So this is the HMS Cossack. It is the Tier 8 Premium Royal Navy destroyer, and it is fantastic. It has good alpha because it has 8 guns, and it fires quite quickly. If you buff it with BFT, even better again. The Cossack you want to build just pretty much as a pure gunboat, because it only has 1 torpedo tube. They do reload very quickly, but this thing with a 5.5 surface detection is an absolute cap bully. So what you want to do is play cap control, and what we're going to see Dolfire do throughout this battle is play around his caps, and that is pretty much all he's going to do. And for that, top marks for just contesting his caps and holding onto his caps, because if you do your job in World of Warships, then you have beaten half the game already. The only other thing that lets pit teams down is that the others don't do their job. Now, as you can see Stitch there, or Experiment in the Benson, just one word for you, my friend: don't sit broadside in a cap like that when you're capping. And the reason is that if there was a destroyer who torpedoes into the cap early, you can get caught unaware and die quite easily. So what you want to do is have a get out point, an escape point. So as you can see, Dollfire's already facing out and he's ready to get out and run. Now my only qualm with Dollfire there would have been that he's probably gone a little bit too deep. If you're just going to cap to start with, try to stay towards the fringe, because if an enemy destroyer had come in and seen you, then there's a whole heap of problems that can happen early on in a game where he can either attack you or his support can attack you. As you can see on the minimap, you haven't really got any support near you. You've got the Algerie behind you and obviously Stitch, but it's not going to help when you've got battleships and things like that firing at you as well. So when the camera moves around a lot, like this at the moment, this is Dollfire's view, and then when it goes a bit more steady, that's when I take control of the camera. So because he's observing the entire battlefield, and that's great. You need to be doing that. I like to use my minimap a lot, so I don't look around as much. I look into the areas that I'm going to be competing or that can give me immediate danger. And for anything else, so for the B cap for example, I would just be looking at the minimap to find out what's going on down there. So guns out on the Kagero, yep, that's what you want to do. You want to fire at him and force him away. You just got to be careful because of that cluster of ships up the top there. So whenever you're taking on a fight with any enemy, and the destroyer was the enemy there, you have to be careful of what he has around him. So the Massachusetts there, the Atlanta coming, you couldn't see the Atlanta, you've lost sight on the Ismail and on the New Orleans, so you need to be careful because they could be around. So when you're picking your gunfights, really pick them. Good use of the smoke there, drop off detection. That's the best thing about British smoke. Drop off the detection and then go dark. Now as you come back in here, you get radared, right? So that's the Atlanta's radar, so we know he's popped it. So what I would do is head in towards the island up there, so where the Massachusetts are and the Ismail. Head a bit closer to that island. You do, by taking the route you did, you got out of the radar, so it's not too bad. The Atlanta's radar is 8.5. So the reason that I would head towards the island is whenever a radar ship has you lit up, it's usually behind an island. The best thing that you can do is get closer to it, because then he can't fire over it. When you start running from a radar, you open yourself up. As you open the distance, you open his elevation up, which means that he can get now shots over the top of the island to be able to get you. So if you're lit up, you can just sit inside the radar behind an island and you should be okay. As long as you're not going to get crossfired, you'll be alright. Okay, so Cap's in here. So not bad. I probably would have turned into him just to engage him a bit more, but again, it's knowing about what your enemy has, because the Atlanta's just used his radar, your smoke is ready. So if you turned into him and got spotted by the Atlanta and started to get firing at, you could just pop that smoke and disengage there. But otherwise, not too bad. So my thoughts would have been to try to take his health down a lot more than what was already on there. But what you did is not bad. You've gone out, you've come back in, so you've reset yourself. You've come back to contest, and what you're doing contesting the cap is all that you can ask for in a destroyer. Make sure that they're not taken. Now notice that Stitch is coming back in, so at least you've got help in contesting the cap. The Kagero has 5.4 detection, but I think that guy that you're playing at has 5.6 or 5.7, so he may not be running some, either a camo, or I think he's got a camo there. But there are generic camos that don't actually give you surface detection. They give you dispersion instead, so he may be running a dispersion camo. So one really good thing would be, you don't need to, but RPF is very handy for cap contesting. So for destroyers that are going to be in there contesting the cap a lot, RPF is really handy, because you would have been able to get an early warning that he was going over there. Okay, so that's the first time I've actually seen that guy's torpedoes, and I'm really surprised about that. I would have thought that a torpedo boat would have been throwing them down range a little bit more often. So good dodge there by Stitch. Good work to go dark. Now the good thing about smoking up right now is that the Massachusetts just fired, so because the two of you are in the cap there and you're both in smoke, sometimes you will lose detection. So you wait for the enemy to fire, then you smoke up, and then you've got at least 20 seconds of firing on him. If he can see something else and he fires again, then that's all good, because as long as he's firing, he's going to keep himself lit up. Just remember, one good thing to learn is to try to learn the smoke firing penalties of all ships. So know your own. Whenever you're in the battle, you can hold down H and find your own smoke firing penalty. It'll give you a lot of other information too: torpedo range, gun range, and your surface detection, other things like that. So pretty good so far. Okay, so as you reverse now, I probably would have turned an angle a little bit more. And oh, Hybrid's in there, another one of my clanmates. Okay, so the Asasio goes down. Asasio there was way too close. You don't need to throw your ship away. And getting that close to a Normandy was doing exactly that. Okay, so the one thing you got to be careful of here is, yes, going in there, and remember, see, I've taken the camera here and I pointed over to the Aoba, because these are the areas that you want to be facing at. So Dolfire's guns at the moment are facing up to the New Orleans, so I'm just going to let the camera go in a minute. The good thing about British Royal Navy DDs is that you take off really fast. That was a great takeoff. So we go back into the cap. So what you need to do now is we need to worry about what's in this cap. This is where we're going. And there's the shots from the Atlanta, so that's what I was looking at to be careful at. Okay, so we've gone back to Dolfire's camera. As you can see, he's looking around everywhere. He's wondering what's in the smoke, where the New Orleans is. So just gotta use that mini-map as well. So the last known detection there was the Kagero, but you also know that your Asasio just got killed there, so that smoke's probably your Asasio smoke. How long is it going to last? Probably not very long. Heaps and heaps of things to try to be aware of, but in the heat of battle, some of those things can go missing. But that's just practice. So good there, good smoke. Try to take out the Kagero, he's not too far away. While you're doing that, make sure you keep your eye out for that, both the Charles Martel, because he has hydro, and the New Orleans, who's going to be coming to the cap too. So just as a rule of thumb, think about every German ship has 6k hydro. Whether it does or it doesn't, just play as that. When you have every other ship, let's just say it's 5. So general rules of thumb, just like that, so then you don't get caught out. So on the broadside here, AP would have worked really well. You fired the HE off. I don't know if you've got IFHE or what you're running on your build, but IFHE would be working quite well. The only reason I wouldn't run IFHE is because the guns are big enough. They don't need it. So you only want to run guns, IFHE on guns under 120 millimeters, because then guns under 120 millimeters can't penetrate the 19 millimeters of armor, which is on most high tier DDs. So I would have sort of stayed behind that island there. See that island in the middle? I would have stayed angled behind that while I was firing at the Kagero, because then you could still fire on him but not be seen by the New Orleans. And unfortunately, because of that, you get reset. You could have had that cap, reset it, but you can get it later. Which is understandable, but just if you're 1 second off a cap, just try for the cap. The other thing that you did was also put yourself in a bit of danger by opening fire while coming around the island. Remember, I always talk about in all my videos that you want to control the engagement, and controlling the engagement means that you fight either one-on-one or you fight 2, 3, 4-on-1 in your favor, so you have backup from your allies. You're the only one in the cap right now, so yes, the Atlanta might be able to see there. The Colorado could probably get shots over as well. You need to be really careful of staying too close, even though we want you to cap, and that's your role and your job. You need to be careful of being isolated. Isolation leads to death. The longer you stay alive, the longer you control the battle. But doing well here. See, good thing here, attacking him when he can't get his guns on you. So you hit that little bit out the back there. Great work. That was good work. Okay, so I notice here there's while you're looking around a lot, you're looking out towards the Kagero a lot, and I have taken the control of the camera in certain parts of this part of the battle. If you have 3 or 4 ships chasing off against an enemy, don't worry about them. Your immediate threat is this New Mexico and the Aoba, so you want to get the cap. You don't want to be distracted by something that's too far away. So, good job there. You were forced out by the plane, and last thing you want is to get killed. That New Mexico is in a perfect spot to hit you now. That A over there, that's blind fire. As you can see, he's just ripple fired that. Okay, time to head back. Now, as you can see the guns down there. You're doing a lot of aiming over towards the... I'm not sure why you looked over that way. Okay, so your immediate threats now is the Aoba. You don't know where he is, but you know you need to cap. So what happens next here is you'll see his fighter plane pop up. But you're looking down towards the Kagero because Stitch is needing, I'd say, because Stitch just put in there that he wants the radar. I wouldn't worry about that. You know that Stitch nearly had almost full health, or at least half. I can't actually see what he's got, but he was doing quite well. So the fighter there is only 6.4 kilometers away from you. Okay, Stitch has got less than half, but he'll be able to get that Kagero quite easily. So your immediate threat is that Aoba, and you need to be paying attention to what your immediate threat is. So see here, you're not even looking towards him. If the Aoba had half a brain, see how the fighter's getting closer? The closer the fighter plane gets, means that he's getting closer to you. So you can use the fighter plane to find out where somebody is. That's why planes can be detrimental, not just helpful, because if you can get you can watch what the plane is doing, and if this Aoba had half a brain, you would have been dead. So you've got to be really careful. Just a little bit of a lack of attention to that area, but well done on getting there and getting the win. Just a couple of things to work on. More paying attention to your immediate zone. If you've got allies chasing off against other enemies, I wouldn't worry too much about them. But otherwise, mate, well done. Good game. You did your job. You contested the caps, and that's all we can ask for. Anyway, guys, that's today's video. Thanks for joining me, and stay safe out there.